Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll begin today's lesson, inshallah, discussing page 26 and 27 and 28 from Treasures of Arabic Morphology. Today's lesson won't be out of the book, and the reason is today we're going to begin studying the abwab of Thalathi Mujarrid. The abwab of Thalathi Mujarrid. And the way the book presents it, in my estimation, is somewhat complicated. Some things are just spoken, and that's how they are. And the book here outlines for us 10 or 12 rules for the abwab of Thalathi Mujarrid. And I've noticed that for beginners, these rules are intimidating and very difficult to learn, and it's easier just to learn the patterns and understand the overall outline of the abwab. So what we have to understand is when it comes to Thalathi Mujarrad, the very first fact that you have to memorize, is that there are 6 types of verbs in Thalathi Mujarrad, which is what we're going to study now. That's the first thing. Understand that there are 6 types of verbs in Thalathi Mujarrad. Okay, so remember now, what is a Thulathi Mujarrad? A Thulathi Mujarrad is a verb that has only 3 root letters, and there will only be 6 types of those. Now, when we say 6 types, what that means is all of the words in the Arabic language that fall under a Thulathi Mujarrad, a 3 root word, they will have a pattern of one of the 6 patterns that we're going to learn written here below. All of them have to fit on one of these patterns. There will be no Arabic word, now listen closely, there will be no Arabic word except that it fits on one of these patterns. Okay? One of these 6 patterns. All Arabic words will fit on one of these 6 patterns. Okay? And we're going to learn these patterns. So, when you open the dictionary and you begin to look for a word, and you look for a word, that word, right after the word, it will tell you how to pronounce the Madi or the past tense of that verb, and it will indicate to you which bab, which of these 6 abwab or bab, which of these 6 abwab the word fits into. If you do not read the verb according to the correct bab, then it changes the actual root word, it changes the word completely. Okay? So I'm going to give you some examples briefly, inshallah. For example, we have a word. We have a word taba'a. Sorry about that. We have a word taba'a. Taba'a yatba'u goes under the bab fataha yaftahu. That is the bab that it fits under. Taba'a yatba'u goes under this bab. Now, what that means, listen closely. And the way I found that out was I just opened up the dictionary and I looked up this word taba'a. Now taba'a means to print something or to press something down, to seal something. So taba'a yatba'u. It goes under fataha yaftahu. Now, if someone was to say tabi'a, tabi'a, that would be incorrect and it won't have any meaning whatsoever. What do I mean by that? If someone was to take that verb and put it under semi'a bab, semi'a, then that word taba'a will not have any meaning. It doesn't even mean anything. So the word tabi'a is not a word. The word taba'a is a word. Let me go back and explain one more thing here. What these babs tell you, or abwab, the plural of bab is abwab. What these abwab tell you is the pronunciation of the word. How is it to be pronounced? So there are 6 different ways a word, 6 different patterns, that is. The very first pattern is nasara yansuru. Now, what you're looking at here, when you say nasara yansuru, what you're looking at here is, this here is the madi. This here is the madi, past tense, nasara. And the next word next to it, yansuru, is the mudari'. And these are terms you should already know, so because we had an exam on this. Nasara yansuru. So what this tells you is, this bab is called bab nasara. That is actually the name of the bab. That is the name of the bab. So you have, one second, let's type this out for you. You have bab number, one second. Let's put it here for you. You have bab and you have number 1. Number 1 bab, we will call it nasara. Nasara. Now that's the madi, as you see here. The mudari is yansuru. Yansuru. It's written right here. Yansuru. Now what that means is, any verb that comes on this bab, you will have to pronounce it in the same way you pronounce nasara, with a fatha on the fa kalima, a fatha on the ain kalima, and a fatha on the lam kalima. If the word, and then when you want to put it on mudari', you'll read it the same way, like yansuru. You would read yatbukhu or yatba'u, for example. You would read it on the same pattern as this word here. That's what it means by a bab. What it means is, any word that's in this bab will be read in the same manner. Okay? That's what that means. Any verb that goes under bab nasara yansuru, and an example is tabakha yatbukhu. Tabakha, example, to cook. To cook is tabakha. Now, the word tabakha in the dictionary, when you look it up, it will tell you that it's in bab nasara. So now you already know how to read the word. The word will be tabakha, mazi, and now the mudari' will be what? Take a guess. Exactly. Yatbukhu. 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 Why? Because it's on the bab of nasara. Yansuru. So it would be tabakha yatbukhu. Okay? I hope now everyone got an idea of what we're doing here. I hope everyone now got an idea of what we're doing here and what it means to put the words in a particular bab. All thalathi mujarrid words will fit into one of these babs, all of them. And when you memorize these babs, you now open up the Arabic language to you because you know how to read and pronounce every verb that is a thalathi mujarrid verb. It becomes extremely easy for you. The only hard part now is actually memorizing the babs, okay? Memorizing the babs. So there are 6 babs that are written here before you. And what are they? They are Nasara yansuru, number 1. Dharaba yadribu. Dharaba yadribu. Next, hasiba yahsibu. Hasiba yahsibu. Fataha yaftahu. Sami'a yasma'u. Karuma yakrumu. Karuma yakrumu. Again, what is the order? Nasara yansuru. Daraba yadribu. Hasiba yahsibu. Fataha yaftahu. Sami'a yasma'u. Karuma yakrumu. Again, Nasara yansuru. Daraba yadribu. Hasiba yahsibu. Fataha yaftahu. Sami'a yasma'u. Karuma yakrumu. Now you do it. Excellent. Do it one more time, inshallah. Excellent. Now, if we take a quick look at, let's see where it is. If we take a quick look at our textbook, don't know if it's open already. No, it's not open. That's fine. Well, if you take a quick look at your textbook, on page 27, we see something. Number 10, rule number 10. I'll put it up on the board. Rule number 10 says, uh-oh. Okay, I'm having trouble opening that up right now. So if we just take a look at rule number 10, inshallah. Rule number 10 basically says there is no rule to specify which verb belongs to which category. It is based on sama'. What that means is there is no real rule to tell you which word will go into which bab. And that's why you have to use the dictionary. It's just based on how it was said or heard from the Arabs, okay? That's all it comes down to. Okay, so on page 29, there's an exercise there. Ba'atha yab'athu, taraka yatruku. Just take the time out now and fill out right next to each one which bab each of those words go into. Okay, now what do those words mean? Ba'atha yab'athu means to send. Number 1 means to send on page 28. You should all be looking at exercise 3 on page 28. Exercise 3 on page 28. Everyone should be taking a look at that right now. So number 1 means to send. Number 2 means to leave something. Fahima yafhamu means to understand. Talaba yatlubu means to seek out. Saraka yasriku means to steal. So look at all 5 of these and place the bab of each one next to it. All right, we're going to stop here for today, inshallah. I want everyone to digest this, understand it, think over it a few times, and we'll see you in class, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.